Why do humans like stupid stuff? And by stupid stuff, I'm referring to things that are completely against the laws of rationality or logic, such as people deciding to use a shopping cart to go from the roof of their house down to the garden.
Roof shopping cart, guys.
The onslaught of brain rot images and videos about an elephant cactus hybrid and this crocodile who turns into this deadly airplane. Why do we find these things as being so addictive to watch? And why do a lot of us like absurdity and stupidity? Bonus mention, the cult of people who are claiming that raw meat actually has a lot of health benefits and that bacterial diseases that kill thousands, if not millions of people are actually just fake, just like the moon landing, the fact that the earth isn't flat. That being said, it is interesting to review why it is the case that we humans enjoy watching these really stupid things. One reason, in my opinion, is that these things are very simple, they're easy to process, and because they're easy to process, they do not require a lot of thought, they just feel intrinsically good. Additionally, two theories that I believe encapsulate this idea of why we enjoy stupid things. One of them goes by the name of Benign violation theory, which was developed by McGraw and Warren. And as the name indicates, we find something funny when it is a benign violation. A violation here is defined as something that threatens our beliefs. So this means that if we are threatened by something that challenges our beliefs about how the world should be, but that same thing is, in our opinion, safe, it's not a violation or an exposure that completely fragments our view of the world and our sense of grounding, we tend to find that to be funny. This can also be properly explained by an earlier theory by Immanuel Kant, which goes by the name of Incongruity-Resolution theory. And so basically this idea is that when there is a gap between what you expect and what we get, that is a necessary condition for us to find something funny. At a psychological level, I also believe that there are far more ideas about why we find stupid things to be so funny and addictive. One of them is that I believe that when we are exposed to really stupid content, that content to some extent feels more real than reality itself. What I mean by this is that many of us realize that we live in a world of uncertainty, where we live in a constructed reality, where it is really hard to predict what is going to go on. And so when we look at a picture of a shark with Nikes, the absurdity and stupidity of that picture feels a little bit close to home. Because when we try to examine our own lives, we also detect a lot of absurdity. Stupid comedy shows or brain rot lacks any obligation to be real. So that other side of us, which is constantly trying to detect if something is true or dangerous, basically a threat, doesn't have to work very seriously because, at the end of the day, it's just stupid stuff. It doesn't have any impact in your life. Another reason why I believe that we enjoy so much stupid stuff is that it brings us to that universal concept that is present in a lot of social animals, which is the concept of play. Play is a really fundamental concept in social bonding and learning. It is through play that we learn how to engage with others. It is how we define the rules of relationships and how we should approach other people. We know that playing is a fantastic way to learn, and it is the ultimate form of social bonding. So when we are watching stupid stuff, that stupid stuff sort of activates the play mode within us. In terms of social connection, sharing stupid reels or content or whatever it might be also adds another layer to our social relationships. It creates these groups that increase the amount of connection that we can feel towards other people. So it can create jokes that are specific to a bunch of people, and that makes you feel like you're in a group. It can also bring forward a sense of vulnerability and openness to be vulnerable. And it also sometimes allows us to open up and show more of our true selves, because when we are playing, we don't have that social pressure to be a certain way. And so when we joke around with our friends, we are setting up this environment that feels really free and liberating because a lot of these social conventions are put to the side. So that being said, I guess one key insight that I want to mention with this video is that we tend to hear a lot about these practices such as mindfulness, breathing exercises, and all of that, but perhaps something that we should also include in our mental toolkit is to set aside some time during the day to just watch stupid stuff or just watch things that you find funny, because that can be really therapeutic. For example, we know that the brain regions associated with humor seem to show decreased activity in depressed individuals. With this, I'm not saying that the cure to depression is laughing more, but I'm saying that perhaps it is part of the overall solution. So when trying to become a better person, work on your compassionate self, work on your work ethic, but also always keep that part of you which is stupid, playful, and just absurd. Hope you found this video interesting, and